questions, comments, arguments?
I'm
Jim?
not in this version of the book, am I?
You have your own version.
Yeah. Don't you look real good? I made you younger.
I was.
You were. Mike?
Now that you're going off to like another place, are you gonna write another one, you think?
I don't know. I mean, this has been such a hardship. Writing is not hard. I mean, I'm sure many of you are writers or have written. And it's hard enough. But then what happens is you have to change to be a businessman. You have to sell this book. You have to write the marketing copy for your book to sell it to the agent. They want you to write the advertising campaign. They want you to write the marketing things. They want you to do the market analysis. It's all stuff that I don't know anything about, and I'm terrible at. So I don't know. We'll see how this goes.
What is the main difference between the version that you most recently sent out and tried to sell versus the one that you initially tried to sell?
The original version was a story in essays. So what I had done was I wanted it to be like Wonder Valley, where every cabin was set aside individually. And so what I did was I wrote each story kind of standalone, hoping that the whole thing would have a narrative arc that would tie it all together in Wonder Valley. It was very literary. At grad school, my thesis advisor was David Hewlin, who was a book critic for the LA Times, and he just loved it. When I said, maybe need to do this, he said, oh, no, this is great. This is very esoteric and eclectic, and I love it. But then what I was told later is that you're going to sell this to some college class for a reading, and that's about it. You know, some high school, some college is going to be forced to read it. But
Is that what he said?
No, others.
Oh, okay.
It's just too esoteric for general readership. Agents need to sell it to make money. I mean, they're in the business to make a commission, and so it has to be a big enough book for them to be worth their time. And so that original version was different. So what I did when I rewrote it is I added myself to it as a significant part. It was Dorothy Rice who gave me some advice when she read it. She says, if you're going to be hard on people or show people in their underwear, basically, you know, the side of people that they necessarily don't want to see. And I'll tell you, everyone I wrote about gave me their permission to write about it, and they shared their stories with me. But the stories in many cases are not flattering. They kind of opened a vein and bared their souls to me. And what Dorothy said is, you have to open your own vein too, and you have to bleed a little bit more than they do. So that was very difficult for me because I'm not a very honest person with myself. I live in denial, and so that was the hardest part, getting that out and bleeding on that page. And it took me a lot of time. I had a lot of friends read it. Mike and Kurt are here. I went to grad school with them, and we all three have MFAs in creative writing from the same wonderful institution. They read it and all came back with notes about it needs more of you. You need to bleed more. And so finally, I got drunk and put stuff in there with my own mind, thinking I'm going to cut this out, but I'm going to put it in there. No one can read it. And then in the light of day the next day, I went, it's got to stay. I mean, this is what the story is. The story about how I got here as much as how anybody else got here. Much of what the book is about and what just fascinated me is how people ended up here, how you came to Wonder Valley. It's such an out-of-the-way place.